What's up, ladies and G-words? We are still in Istanbul, leaving tomorrow, been here for a month already. It's time to go back home to Dubai. So I got a comment on my last video and the girl was asking me if I could talk about starting new, loneliness, and I thought, why not? Okay, because I'm someone who's moved a couple of times, whether that's like interstate or abroad. I travel solo like frequently. I mean, I've been here alone for a month in a foreign country and it's not easy, but I have some pointers I'll share. So I'm going to tell you guys first of all about my life philosophy and my mindset. My mindset in life is that I will never shrink myself because, and I've shared this quote before guys, when you shrink yourself, you're actually not even giving other people permission to shine. You must believe in yourself so much and know that you can have everything. I believe in this life, I will get everything I want, and I always get everything I want. Now, this is especially important to women. If you share a similar philosophy to me, dating is going to be extremely hard for you, especially if you're beautiful or successful, because a lot of these guys will try to tear you down. And even your friends might try to tear you down because a lot of these people, they don't believe in themselves in that way. Or maybe life has showed them that they're not going to get what they want. And that's challenging because if you've been shown time and time again you're never going to succeed or that your dreams are always going to fail, it's hard to still have that belief that everything is going to be okay. So I can empathize with that. But at the end of the day, remember guys, we live in a spiritual world. You will get everything you want, but you have to bounce back. Everything that happens to you is a lesson. I've had things happen to me in Istanbul, guys, where I thought it would go well and it didn't go well, and I have been ended up hurt, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why, God? Like, why is this happening to me? Why is it happening again? And I take away the lesson, because if you're not integrating your lessons, it's going to show up again and again and again and again. And Kabbalah teaches that when something happens and you're able to integrate this lesson and actually appreciate it, that's when you're transforming. So everything that happens to you, it's divine. So yeah, that's my philosophy. I just believe I will get everything I want, and I also believe that you only need to focus on the next step. You can have a really big vision for your life, but you need to use Bashar's formula, chasing your highest excitement. That means you do have a vision for your life, right? So you know the rough direction you're going, but it doesn't mean that you're trying to control every single element, because ultimately things never go according to plan. So much can come in and fuck your plans up, so you have to be flexible. And that's why your mindset is key. If you have a healthy mindset and an abundance mindset, you're always going to be okay, and you will always attract new opportunities to you. So I don't try to control these little things. For example, I wanted to stay in Dubai and work on my businesses, so I didn't want to go to Turkey. I was going to Bodrum for my friend's brother's wedding after party, and this was booked already, and I'm thinking, damn, I have to leave Dubai for a week. This is going to mess up my routine. And look at me now, I've been in Istanbul for like 1 month, and this is because I'm very chill and I'm go with the flow, and I'm like, okay, I feel like I'm meant to be here, so I'm going to be here. How did I end up in Dubai, guys? It's because I started to solo travel when I was 23. Some of you know the story. And my first solo trip, my friend who was meant to go with me, she's not my friend anymore. She totally blindsided me, and I had to go to Thailand and Bali by myself. There is a video on my MacBook of me crying when my friend Kathleen leaves me in Bali, because I'm like, I've never traveled by myself before. I don't know anyone here. Like, what do I do? And within one day, guys, I was totally fine. I ended up having the best 2 months. That solo trip gave me confidence to then book another solo trip a couple of months later to Europe. And I stayed in Europe, I think, for 6 months, and I ended up moving to Dubai 2 months later because I followed the natural process of things. So going back to my friend pretty much abandoning me, I thought, oh my God, like, why I can't go on this trip anymore? And then I remember that everything is teaching me something. I try to look on the brighter side of things always. What am I going to gain out of this? What can really go wrong? Sometimes you have to do a little bit of cognitive behavioral restructuring on yourself. So I've given this formula to you guys before. I will always write out, like, what is making me upset? What is the reality of this? So in this example, okay, my friend abandoned me. I have to go solo travel myself. The reality is I've never solo traveled before, which is why I feel nervous and I feel upset and I feel alone. This is normal. But the reality is I'll probably end up having a good time, and I'm doing something I've never done before. Now, you write, like, what am I most afraid of? I'm most afraid of being alone, or my safety. And then you write out some solutions to this. Okay, maybe I'll get a dating app. I would try to find new friends over there. I'll make a list of places I can go. I will never walk on the street after 9 p.m. You make solutions, and then it makes you feel better. Now, when everything's on paper, you can see that it's never really as bad as you think it is. And once you get over that initial, you can see my suitcase there. Once you get over this initial type of negative emotion you're feeling, usually positive ones are left. And at the end of the day, all we want is to feel good. So I really just go with the flow of things, and I try to make space in my life for new things to come in always. Now, I've started over a couple of times. I moved to Sydney when I was 17 and I did university there, and then I moved to Melbourne after university. Honestly, when I was 17, I don't even think I thought about what moving city would be like. I had no one in this city as well. I didn't know anyone. I just was like, I want to leave. So I did it, and I'll figure it out. Now, throughout my whole uni life, I felt so alone. And I think something about me is I always feel alone. There's just like this void in me, and I don't know if it will ever be filled no matter what. I had friends there. I still didn't feel like I fit in or anything. And I was young. I didn't know how to build a life, to be honest. And if I would give you guys any advice on starting new somewhere, it's that you need to at least have one core person who can introduce you to more people. And as a woman, we can actually exploit our woman status a little bit and go on a dating app and find someone pretty well connected, and he will be able to introduce you to more people. Especially from the beginning, you can kind of friend zone them, and you know that they are a safe type of man to be friends with. Even though I still believe like most men are romantically and sexually attracted to you, but if you're smart, you can kind of use that to your benefit and get into their circle. And even just finding a girl. I think a lot of the times men are more likely to bring you into their circles, but then it's like at what cost? Because if you're not dating, maybe he'll kick you out. That's something to be wary of. But if you can form very solid friendships with these women, then it will just benefit you. So starting new, try to utilize social media as well. Make a TikTok, I'm moving to the city, who is around? Don't be afraid to reach out to people. When I started my solo travel journey, I would reach out to people all the time. I'd be like, hey, I saw you're in this city, do you want to meet? I don't think I have ego about reaching out, because someone might ghost you, and that's okay, because they're not meant for you. You're not meant to meet them on this trip. It's fine. You just have to have confidence that everything's going to work out for you and take things day by day. So yeah, I moved to Sydney. I started afresh. I took things literally day by day. I just focused on how I felt that day and made sure I was moving in a new direction. And no matter what city I've moved to, guys, you always tend to think, oh, I'm happier in this place. I always wanted to leave Australia. Oh, I'm gonna be happier in Paris or Dubai or Istanbul. I even think that now, oh my God, I'm so happy in Istanbul. No, at the end of the day, you're running from yourself. And when you travel, sometimes you're so caught up in all of these new experiences that you have actually escaped yourself. And then when you go back home, you're faced with the reality of who you are and what your life really is and everything you have to do. You are a home. That is the core message. You are a home. It doesn't matter where you are. You need to learn to be happy with yourself and comfortable with yourself. Then you will not feel alone. The world will like open up to you. Because if you're someone who has to constantly rely on other people for fulfillment, you will never be fulfilled. So when I first moved to Dubai, guys, I was 23. I moved entirely by myself. Imagine 23 years old. I look back and I'm like, gosh, I was such a baby, seriously. I moved largely for business reasons like taxes, company formation, whatever. And I had to set all of this up by myself, and I was dealing with things that a normal 23-year-old, especially in Australia, would never deal with. I remember thinking like, God, I have like matured so much from this entire process, like moving to a whole other foreign country where I knew no one by myself. And I was very, very depressed all of 2024 for a multitude of reasons. It was like, I could not accept that I had moved country actually. I kept on leaving, traveling. And because of that, I never made Dubai a home in 2024. And I had so many preconceived notions about the city, and this is what you see on social media. People are like, oh, the city's fake, everyone's fake. And I would never leave my apartment. I was a hermit. I wouldn't go out, I wouldn't socialize. I knew 2 people eventually. And then winter came and I said, you know what? I'm actually gonna give this my all. I'm going to get a car. I'm going to go and meet people and go outside and stop traveling for 6 months And guess what? I made it home. I met great people. I started to love living there. And that's why friends will make or break the place you're in. You can be in a small town in Montana, bro, and you have like amazing friends and you're in the most boring city alive and you're going to have an amazing time because the people are going to make or break the place. I think about when I moved to Dubai and how sad I was and I just had no support from anyone. I was alone, doing everything alone, and I just felt so alone. I just thought, I don't know how I'm going to ever come out of this, and then I came out of it. I didn't want to get a therapist again because I didn't even know how to articulate what I was going through. You know, if you're depressed, like speaking about things, it's just like reliving it. You don't want to do it, but my depression got so bad that I forced myself to get a therapist, and I didn't want to go find someone in Dubai and like drive to them because I was too sad. I'm like, let me get better help. And my first therapist, I didn't like her. My second one, she was great. And I stayed with her for 3 months. So thank you to BetterHelp for partnering with me today on this video. I really liked my therapist because she was spiritual as well. So she was the one who diagnosed me with CPTSD, and I had no clue what that was before. And we actually would do like EDMR therapy together later on. So there are so many different types of therapists that you can find on BetterHelp. I really recommend even just trying for 1 month or 1 session or whatever. If you don't like your therapist, you can change free of charge, but therapy helps so much. And the great thing is you don't have to do it forever. So you can have that contact with your therapist, you go through something, you hit her up 6 months later or whenever you like. It just feels good to know that you're not alone, and especially if you can build like a long-term, long-lasting relationship and rapport with that therapist, you know that they're always there for you. But my tip is that if you don't feel like you're compatible with your therapist at first, you should drop them and keep on switching until you find someone, because it's so annoying. And I've done this before where I've met a therapist in person and I didn't like them and I stuck with them because I was too lazy to go to the doctor and get a referral. And now I've been seeing this therapist for like 8 weeks and I told her all my problems. And then I decide, you know what, actually you make me feel alone and you don't understand me. Now you need to go to a whole new therapist and do this all over again. So you're better off switching at the beginning until you find someone you really like. This is my advice, and BetterHelp makes it so easy to do that because it's free to change and you can do it very, very quickly. BetterHelp makes starting therapy so easy. All you need to do is take a quiz online, and within a couple of days they will match you with someone they think's right. Like I said, if you don't like them, you can change for free, and then you can communicate with them however you like, through text, video, or phone call, from the comfort of your own home or wherever. So over 6 million people are using BetterHelp today, and they have a 4.8 star rating on the App Store. So go to my link here, guys, to get 10% off your first month of therapy with BetterHelp. Now, the therapy helped me so much because I was able to process everything I was going through and have support with someone. Knowing that conversation, I could say whatever I want and I was in a safe space. But I find a lot of people, okay, this place is going to be better. We're going to be happy in this place. Bro, you're running from yourself. You're running from yourself. And you associate this feeling with this new place you're in. But it's just because you can't even probably find yourself in this new place because you're so constantly stimulated by everything. But eventually the dust settles and it's just you there. One thing that always gets me is when I come back from a holiday, or even just like being out, and I walk back into my apartment and there's no one there and it's just silence. And sometimes I stand there at the entrance and I'm just thinking, what the fuck? First of all, I can't believe I'm alive. Second of all, damn, why do I feel kind of lonely and empty right now? Third, is this dooming feeling ever gonna leave me? I'm not sure if you guys can relate, but I get that quite often. And then you turn on like some music, you turn the TV on and that feeling goes away. But that's just a feeling that's never faded for me, no matter what. And even I'm going back to Dubai tomorrow, I think about walking back into my apartment and feeling that empty feeling. And I wonder, will it ever go away? And I know for me why I have that feeling. It's because I don't entirely feel like I'm at home. I've always kind of externalized that in a way, and that's why I tell you guys, because I know what's wrong. Don't do that. Ever since I was a kid, I was always looking for one person. I'm gonna find my best friend. Oh, I didn't find her. Okay, I found her in high school. Oh, didn't find her. Okay, you get to uni. I'm gonna find my lover, my soulmate. You externalize it. And for the first time, I relieved myself of that burden of finding someone. You can free yourself. Just think, okay, actually, what would happen if like God or whoever came to me, a psychic, said, you're never gonna find someone. You're gonna be alone forever. What would you do? Like, how would you live differently? Like, it's actually like a burden lifted off of you, because now you're like, wait, I'm free. No one can save me. Have that thought. Go through that process and really think about it. Because for me, when I think about, okay, being alone forever, it's not that bad actually. It's not that bad, especially if you like yourself. Wow, I have like all this time to do whatever I want. Am I going on a tangent? I'm going on a really big tangent, guys. I've had a lot of thoughts. I've had so many thoughts since being here. So yeah, anyways, you can start over whenever you want, but if you're running, always looking for the next place, you're running from yourself. One thing I would always recommend, if you can, guys, try to get a remote job and live in countries for 1 month at a time. Because if you just go for 2 weeks, 1 week, a few days, you're not experiencing it properly. If you live for 1 month, dude, you can do like 12 countries in a year. And sometimes traveling can be cheaper than actually staying in your home country. I know when I was traveling full time, I was spending less money being a full-time traveler, bro. I wasn't even budgeting than I live in Dubai, even Australia. Because then you have all of these other expenses come up. Tell me why I pay $10,000 for health insurance? Hello? $10,000 for car insurance? All these expenses pile up. Especially if you're young and you have time, take advantage of this. Fear is usually what's holding us back, and you just kind of have to take the first step. When you take the first step, you realize it's not that scary. And on the other side is excitement. When I solo traveled, I was so damn terrified, guys, and then I became addicted to doing it. You really need to trust the divine timing of your life. Going back to my original point at the beginning, I said I kind of follow the way things naturally happen and unfold, as long as I'm chasing my highest excitement. I don't do things if I don't want to do it, unless I have to do it. You know, it's like life or death. So if you're chasing your highest excitement, everything will unfold naturally always. I told you something happened in Istanbul where I'm like, bro, why the fuck am I here? Like, literally, why am I here? And I've had 2 opportunities come out of this. I don't want to talk about it, but it's insane. There is always like a reason for everything. Everything always works out as long as you are integrating your lessons and believing that the best is always going to come. You're going to be okay. I have a list in my phone of situations I thought that I would never get over, whether it's a breakup or a job loss or I don't know, anything, depression, and I've come out of it. So if you even have a list like that on your phone and you can actively look at this every day and see that you will come out of it, and that helps to rewire your brain to say, you know, this is not forever. I'm gonna get out of this actually, and I'm going to be okay. You're going to be okay no matter what. It may feel like everything is crumbling down now, but you can wake up tomorrow and the sun is shining and your problems are gone. Really, you never know what can happen. At the same time, you never know what can happen in a bad way. So appreciate everyone in your life, appreciate yourself, have fun. Have fun. It's like I'm talking to myself. I'm like, have fun. I feel like sometimes I'm quite rigid and I'm not having fun. Like, I'm actually unk. Guys, I'm like uncus. I go to bed at 10 p.m. I wake up 6 a.m. I like drink my bone broth. I do my red light therapy. Sometimes I'm like, what am I doing? Like, when did I become uncus like this? When my friends were in Istanbul and we were going to Kanye, the whole week, all of them were hanging out and going to bed at 6 a.m. Bro, I was leaving the function every day at 10 p.m. I'm like, I'm going home and I'm sleeping, and I put my earplugs in and I was like, when did I become uncus? Seriously, I'm like, I don't even drink alcohol. You know, I drink maybe once every 2 months. I'm unk. Anyways, guys, I'm sorry. This was such a tangent. I hope this helped you in some way. And ich liebe dich. Tschüss.